We feel in New Hampshire that we want to come at stewardship from a different point of view. We don't want to come at manipulating people into doing what is good for them, even though that's popular. We want to come at stewardship from beneath, from the point of view of the wellness of a congregation and its place in a community.
When I became the bishop, it was very clear to me that clergy in particular and vestries were spending inordinate amounts of time being anxious about stewardship and giving. And so I made a decision to hire a stewardship person. And Charles LaFond was just clearly that person who had both raised money in the secular world, but brought with him this remarkable marriage of fundraising and spirituality.
Along with the good teaching and preaching around the spirituality of giving and bounty, there needs to be effective tools provided to our churches that get the job done.
When we received the news that the diocese was going to have to cut back with some of its programs, we were all pleased that one of the programs that was not being cut was the stewardship program, and Charles LaFond was going to continue doing his work. His work has been invaluable for a couple of reasons. Firstly, the excellent material that he provides congregations and helping them put together a stewardship program and every member canvas. But the other important part is that Charles has made himself available to the diocese to come around and be that person who talks about stewardship honestly with congregations. So he does the hard talk about what it means to give and what it means to not give. And if you don't give, everything that you value about your church community may disappear.
I think that to some extent, every parishioner is responsible for the well-being of their church. I don't think it's solely the responsibility of your clergy or even your vestry. And I think that however you choose to give back, whether it be your time or your money, I think that if you don't put something into it, you're not going to get something out of it.
And what I've always felt about stewardship is that the impulse to give is maybe the greatest indication of a person's spiritual health. If a person is feeling thankful to the God who made them and who sustains them and whom they know in the life of the church, then they want to give.
Well, I thought I had an understanding of stewardship from the previous churches that I've been involved in, but I recently went to a stewardship seminar that the diocese pulled together, and it was inspirational. It was almost transformational for me.
In the Diocese of New Hampshire, we worked to transform stewardship with three basic components, like three legs of a stool. They would be the spiritual depth of the people, that is formation, conversion of life. Secondly, the case for support, that is, what's the church doing? Does it deserve the money it's raising? And then thirdly, best practices, the skills that go into asking people effectively for money.
Here in the Diocese of New Hampshire, we have, Judith, your Leadership Institute, Charles, your Stewardship Institute, and the Evangelism Institute. And those things that really do bring into the diocese things that are, in many ways, outside the church. We bring in things about nonprofit leadership and fundraising and growth, and we baptize them and bring them into the church. We take something outside the church and put it to use for Christ.
And so we sometimes consider fundraising tools like a good pledge card and a great strategic plan and good communications as worldly. And yet we look at the United Way and the YMCA and we wish we had the resources that they have. Well, they have those resources because they do amazing work around fundraising, and they deserve the money they're raising, and they help people with bounty. And if we could do that, we in the church could do that kind of work, we'd be unstoppable. When Jesus said, "Go to the ends of the earth," he knew that there would be resources required for that work. And what holds the church back often is the lack of resources, and that's completely unnecessary.